Jesus. Steph, plus 32. That's incredible. Wow.
Hey, Draymond, in the third quarter, you ran out the half court, was getting the crowd live. Can you take us through that moment and what you saw down on the Denver bench?
I just saw them arguing. I wasn't sure who was arguing, but somebody's down there arguing. The crowd should notice that. They should be very loud for that.
And
It took me a while to get them loud. That was disappointing. I mean, shoot.
And
Didn't coach Michael. It's good.
And how fun was a game like this? I mean, we saw you dancing out the free throw line late in the fourth quarter.
It's very fun. You know, when you beat a team the way we did the first game, they come out and they give you their best punch. And they did that. And, we took the punch on the chin. We responded right away. We got control of the game. Pretty much started at maybe the last couple minutes of the first quarter, and I think we had control of the rest of the game. So I think, just to see our group respond the way they did, the way we did, I think that's special. That's a very good team. That's not some slouch pushover team. They have a very good group around an incredible player, and we took their best punch and we responded. And I thought that was great.
That lineup broke it open again in the same part of the game, late second. What did you like? I mean, we talked yesterday just about kind of the defensive identity you wanted to build. What did you like about those 6 minutes?
I thought we swarmed. I think there were a couple loose balls that we could have come up with that we didn't come up with, and that's one of the things that we spoke about with that lineup is we should be able to get deflections, and when we get deflections, we have to push the ball and try to make them keep up with that pace. And I think for the most part we did a pretty good job. They got some offensive rebounds, which. That's what you're going up against when you do go that small is the rebounding. But I thought we did a good job of cleaning that up. But early on, I thought they had too many offensive rebounds, and that was on me. Joker was getting the offensive rebounds. So when battling a big guy like that, it's important that our guards come back in and get the rebound. But it starts with me keeping him off the glass and giving them a chance to come clean up the rebounds. And I didn't do a good job of that early. He was able to get some offensive boards. He finished with 5 offensive rebounds. I think all 5 of them might have come in the first half. So if I do a better job there, give our guys an opportunity to clean up the rebounds, I think that lineup gets even more dangerous.
Draymond, what's it like to be on the ball or even off the ball when you have Steph and Jordan both kind of getting their thing?
It's pastor's paradise for me. You got Steph and Jordan kind of they roam differently than Clay. Theirs is more just kind of fluid, and you have to keep an eye on them because they're moving all over the place. Clay's a little different. Clay is going to roam when it's time for him to get to a spot for a shot, and so with those 2 guys, it's a little different than reading with Clay. But nonetheless, you got those 3 guys out there at the same time. For me as a passer, that's heaven. And then, the one weak shooter out there around me with that group is Wiggins. And I think he shoot like 37% from 3 or something like that. And I'm live with Wiggins shooting that 3. So for me, you can't ask for anything more on the offensive end, any more options than that. So yeah, I like it a lot.
What are the things that you observe on the court that signal to you are demoralizing an opponent?
You just kind of read body language and frustration. Frustration usually shows up in body language. That's just kind of what I try to read. You try to read interactions with teammates and how someone's reacting to their teammates. And, if you feel like you're getting under the skin, you press up a little more. If you don't feel like you're getting under the skin, you press up a little more. So just try to do my job. But Body language.
Hey, Draymond, in lieu of Jordan not being part of the finalist list for most improved, do you got your petition ready to go?
Yeah, it's coming. It's definitely coming, for sure.
Just what was your reaction once you saw the list?
I wasn't shocked.
Yeah.
I wasn't shocked at all.
Can you expand a little more on that initial Jesus reaction when you just look down and see Steph's stat line? What did you think of his play tonight?
I mean, he was incredible. 22 minutes plus 32, that's insane. But I thought his patience was great. They did a great job of trying to take the pocket away because we got the best of them in the pocket that first game. And so they did a great job of trying to take that pocket pass away. And early on a little bit we struggled with it. When Steph came in the game, he just drove until they stopped him. And the big was kind of shaded towards me to take the pocket away. So he just kept driving them. And I think that broke their defense down. And once he started doing that, now you got him into the paint, kicking out and flying back off for threes. That's when Steph Curry is at his most dangerous, off the ball. And so I thought the way he came in and settled our offense down, I mean, it's what you expect of Steph Curry, but, I thought that was huge. And, like I said, to be plus 32 in 22 minutes, 23 minutes, it doesn't get much better than that.
You've played with some incredible offensive lineups, Steph, Clay, KD together. But what makes this trio of Jordan, Clay, and Steph so tough for defenders to match?
Jordan is doing some of the same stuff Steph does, and that's tough. I mean, you're going to game plan for Steph, you're going to game plan for Clay, but now you got a game plan for Jordan, and that's a different beast. You're trapping Steph. Okay, well if you're trapping Steph and you got Jordan on the floor too, it's hard to trap two guys. You swing the ball to the second side, and a big's going to get back and that's tough. And so I think he's been watching Steph a lot, and he's doing his best impression, and it is incredible.
We've watched Jordan play in the six-man role most of the season. We've seen Steph through the last two games. How much does it really matter who's in what role?
I mean, it matters. Ultimately, we got to have Steph Curry in the lineup. So, that's one thing. We're not trying to keep Steph in the six-man role. Right. Forget that.
Right.
Now, in saying that, ultimately, Jordan probably going to have to start too. And so that's where, we got to figure a bunch of stuff out. Good problem to have. Great problem to have. But it's going to have to get figured out at some point. And maybe, as thing about the playoffs is every series takes on a life of its own. Every series requires different matchups, requires different adjustments. At some point, I'm sure they're both going to be starting together, but I won't be the one to cause myself that headache. Steve can figure that one out.
Draymond, you mentioned the crowd. I mean, we all know what the Oracle days were like, and it's probably not going to be duplicated. It probably can't be. But what did you think about the crowd? And I saw you. That one wasn't the only time you were gesturing to it. A couple times you're running down the floor and pointing up to the seats. What did you feel about the energy?
I thought the energy was pretty good. There were times in that game where it felt just like Oracle. There were times where it was, super loud. And like you said, Oracle. As fast as we can, we all got to get rid of the idea of Oracle in our head. That's a very special place. It's a very different place. Even the makeup of the building, it's going to be louder, and so we kind of all have to remove that thought from our head of that this place is going to be Oracle. It's a totally different place. But nonetheless, it's a great one too, and we need to continue to establish it as the best home court in the league.
And did you happen to notice Joe Lacob on the sideline? I think one time you ran right past him. Did you see any of his?
It's hard not to notice Joe on the sideline. Whether you're doing good or bad, it's hard not to notice Joe on the sideline.
Would you call your back
100% right now? And when you're kind of going through the rehab, is this what you're envisioning as far as the start of the playoffs and your performance goes?
Yeah, I feel incredible. And this was definitely the way I hoped it would happen. I was hoping that, we're coming back with a month left in the season, that I could round into playoff form. And I feel pretty good. I feel, great. I mean, my conditioning is getting there. I got tired a couple times a night, but I also got like 285 pounds laying on me. So that's a different beast. But nonetheless, I feel great, and I'm past the injury. That's the thing of the past. Just got to continue to do what I do, continue to bring the force and energy that I bring to the game. But I feel fine, and the injury is behind me.
And you're the last person that needs any extra motivation, but kind of seeing the DPOY voting kind of, is this a little bit of an extra statement?
I'm extremely happy for Marcus Smart. That's a guy who I respect as a defender. So I'm extremely happy for him. Well deserved. With where that team's defense went, it changed their season. And he's right in the middle of all of that. So I got no complaints. I do have some complaints, but I'll talk about them on the pod tomorrow.
Tease.
All right, thank you. We got to get into work.